I am honored to participate in this high-level event. The organization of this is very timely and relevant. Allow me to thank the government and people of Ecuador for graciously hosting this landmark event in the historic and beautiful city of Quito, the cultural heritage of the humanity. The theme of the event accurately identifies the two main prerequisites for the success of any multilateral process, namely dialogue and culture of peace. India's unique development model of inclusive growth has made our country one of the fastest growing economies in the world. This has helped India reduce mass poverty, reduce illiteracy, and empower women. The country has also focused on unleashing power of the youth for transformation. Major economic priorities of our government are fiscal federalism, universal social security, higher agricultural productivity, investment in public infrastructure. Financial inclusion is another priority for our government. Under the Prime Minister's Jan Dhan scheme, a national mission on financial inclusion encompassing an integrated approach to bring about comprehensive financial inclusion of all the households in the country has achieved remarkable success. The plan envisages universal access to banking facilities with at least one basic banking account for every household, financial literacy, access to credit, insurance and pension facility. A record number of over 300 million new bank accounts have been opened. The process of multilateralism hinges on ability to partners to engage with each other with a sense of mutual respect and an earnest attempt to understand the perspectives of other parties in any process. Multilateralism offers us an opportunity to address the global problems in a more holistic manner and evolve equity-based solutions that encourages all parties to be a part of it. The UN system is one of the best examples. I'm sorry that Amina has left. She would have liked this paragraph perhaps. Best examples and successes of multilateralism. India is among the original members of the UN that signed the UN document or UN declaration in 1945, even before its own independence. Since then, India's contribution and commitment to the UN objectives has been unwavering and steadily increasing. India's faith in multilateralism is reflected by the fact that India has supported and contributed towards the success of almost every major multilateral body, agency, program, and initiative. Since the first Financing for Development conference in Monterrey more than 15 years ago, the world has witnessed remarkable growth. However, the poverty has yet to be fully eradicated from the face of the planet. I participated in the Financing for Development conference in Doha in 2008. The Doha Declaration recognized the need for a strengthened and more effective intergovernmental inclusive process to carry out the financing for development follow-up. What followed by the global economic crisis of 2008 was an exogenous shock for developing countries. The world trade experienced its largest decline in generations. Foreign direct investment and other private flows also declined, and remittances dropped significantly. The United Nations Conference on the World Financial and Economic Crisis and its impact on development held in New York in 2009. The outcome document defined a clear role for UN in the follow-up to the conference, followed by a strong substantive component as well as provisions aimed at strengthening the institutional dimension of the financing for development process. The outcome of the third conference 2 years ago supported the implementation of 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. However, according to the OECD report earlier this year, development aid reached a new peak of US $142.6 billion in 2016, an increase of 8.9% from 2015. Clearly, a rise in aid spent on refugees in donor countries boosted the total. However, 1.8% of this increase actually stayed in the donor countries, including EU member states, with relatively little effect on poverty eradication and sustainable development, since it is used to cover in donor costs to address the refugee crisis. Or at the same time, net global bilateral ODA to LDC's least developed countries fell by 3.9% last year. Despite this progress in increase in aid, ODA, bilateral country-to-country aid to the LDCs fell by 3.9% in real terms from 2015, and aid to Africa fell again by 0.5% as some DAC members backtracked on a commitment to reverse past declines in flows to the poorest countries. While 10.7% of the world population still live in extreme poverty and worse inequality is rising, many states again failed collectively to meet the 0.7% ODA/GNI remains off track to meet the target by 2020. Development cooperation is an integral part of India's foreign policy, and India has been extending cooperation to its fellow developing countries even before its independence in 1947. Presently, India's development cooperation is manifested through its Development Compact. What does that mean? Comprising 5 components, namely capacity building and skill transfer, technology and related partnerships, development finance, grants, and trade and investment. The 2030 Agenda has given us the blueprint for achieving sustainable development by 2030. The countries of the South have their own sets of challenges while pursuing the 17 SDGs. While the ODA commitments by developed countries still remain to be fulfilled, both the gap and urgency for achieving sustainable development in developing countries is increasing. It is the recognition of this urgency and a sense of solidarity that the countries of the South engage in South-South cooperation. We must remain alert that the voluntary South-South cooperation remains complementary to the obligatory North-South cooperation and is not considered a substitute to the North-South cooperation. This indeed was a focal point of Busan Aid Effectiveness Forum, in which I had the privilege of leading my delegation in 2011. We must recognize that sustained economic growth is the surest solution to development. We must place equal emphasis on policies and actions leading to acceleration of economic growth at the national and international levels. We need to urgently scale up the delivery of aid from developed countries where it is most needed, with special attention to the LDCs. The Intergovernmental Committee of Experts on Sustainable Development Financing had put the cost of providing a social safety net to eradicate extreme poverty at about $66 billion a year, while annual investments in improving infrastructure could be up to a total of $7 trillion globally. All both are daunting and huge figures for financing requirements. A major conference on financing for the SDGs held in Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa in July 2015 failed to ease concerns that there will not be enough cash to meet the aspirational nature of the goals. Finally, what we need are bold measures to recommit to UN target spending of 0.7% of GNI, overhaul global finance practices, and generate investment for tackling the challenges of sustainable development. Thank you very much.